Good morning. I'm still not liking this music. We're getting ready, rolling up to 1 year of this show being on the air. We're trying out all kinds of different music. I felt like I was in a nightclub there for a minute.
Yeah, it's like a lame elevator BPM.
Wow. That is harsh. Rob Patz along with Stephanie Esposito. This, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the morning break. Stephanie. Yes, Saturday Night Live. We will not discuss that any further. Off goes the music. If
Thank
you know,
God.
you know. How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend. We actually gave my youngest son a yes day on Saturday, and it was the sweetest day. I was so surprised by the things he wanted to do. It was all very chill and just family and, skate park and pizza, and it was a fun day. How about you?
So explain to the rest of us, since I was an only child and every day in my life was a yes day, but tell everybody else what a yes day is.
Well, that explains a lot, Rob. Actually, so a yes day is when you let your kid choose what you're going to do for the day. And generally, we always put parameters because we were like, hey, listen, we're not flying to Rome. There's just, you've got to put some parameters there. And we had also a budget in the back of my mind anyway, because I didn't want it to go crazy. But we basically told him whatever you want. And as we did it, we said, we're going to all tell you things that we love about you, because this day is going to reflect your personality and what matters, to Lorenzo. And so as we sat down, and he wanted French chocolate chip blueberry French toast he had for breakfast. That was his order. So of course I made that. And then we went to a skate park. But as we went to each thing or sat together as a family, we told him things we love about him, or like that we liked what he chose and why we liked what he chose. And so it went really well. I think we'll do it with the other two kids, before official summer ends too. So it was good. It was a fun day.
Chocolate chip blueberry. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. They just don't mix.
Oh, well, Lorenzo Esposito thinks they mix, and he was very pleased.
Is he the one that I encouraged to go to Culver's?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, in fact, it was. You are not a good influence on my organic, crunchy mom life over here, but
that's what I'm here for. I'm like that person that's on the peripheral that brings Krispy Kreme donuts. That's my life.
Uncle Rob with all the sugar. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Hey, listen, today is a day that doesn't include sugar, unless that's what you put on it. It is National Watermelon Day, and I have a lot of opinions about watermelon, and I know Stephanie does too. But here's my first question, Stephanie. Do you put salt on your watermelon?
I know some people do. I have, because I had to try it. It's not my thing. I know some people do tahini too, which is it's good. It's just not how I prefer my watermelon. I would eat it, but I don't crave it that way.
So how you told me ahead of time you have opinions about watermelon.
I do.
I am here to hear your opinions.
I will only eat seeded watermelon. I don't eat seedless watermelon.
Okay, why?
Because, well, first of all, if it's seedless, then it's genetically modified. They don't grow that way. That's not how God made them. So I don't want to eat things that are created by something else. But the seeds are also really good for you. And I do think that if you happen to swallow one, there's like actual health benefits. It's not that bad. A watermelon's not going to grow in your belly, as my mom used to tell me if I keep eating it.
I was going to say, my mom said, there's possibility of a watermelon being in my, and it explains a lot about the way I looked yesterday.
Stop. You kill me. I just think they're sweeter when they have seeds too. I prefer a seeded watermelon.
So
what are your opinions?
I'm one of these people, and if you go to a grocery store and you wonder who buys the cut up watermelon,
is that you?
It's me. I'm totally not cutting a watermelon up. I don't have time for that.
Okay.
There's no time in my day to do that. And it's a craving. It hits like once or twice a summer, and that's it. That's all I really need. Watermelon is maybe once or twice cut up, boom. I don't like the salt. I got to be honest with you. My dad did that. I always thought it was kind of strange.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't do that.
How about with cheese? Have you ever had it with like feta cheese?
No.
Like a watermelon salad? Oh yeah.
No. And I can tell you that I'm not sure that would be good at all. I got to be honest with you, Stephanie. I'm just not feeling that as any kind. Of course, I'm not really a salad person. If it's green, I'm probably not eating it.
Well, there you
So,
go.
yeah. So, but the one thing I do love is the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, and we got to get that plug in before we go to our guest day, which are really excited. I'm really excited about. But 7 Weeks Coffee. Listen, my wife and I talk about this. If you've never had small batch, small roasted coffee, you need to. 7 Weeks does a great job with their coffee. I have enjoyed it. They have been a great partner with us at Abundant TV for over a year and a half now. And you go to their website, 7weekscoffee.com. Now, listen, the owners of 7 Weeks Coffee, they don't trust me to tell you the great deals on the air. You know why? Because you have to go to the website. And in fact, I'll tell you this, there's some great deals where there are prices that are almost half price. I can't tell you that for sure because they want you to go, but trust me, great deals right now. Go to 7 Weeks Coffee. I personally like the dark roast, but whatever you get or whatever you choose, remember to use the promo code ATV10 when you check out. Now, listen, that helps them to know that the money that they spend with us on advertising really is working. And it's neat because I get an email every once in a while from the CEO and his wife, and they tell me about how much they're thankful for what we're doing here at Abundant TV. So go to 7weekscoffee.com, use the promo code ATV10. Hey, we've got the guys from Radiant Mobile. They're going to be with us after the break. We're going to do that right after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Thanks to great folks, 7 Weeks Coffee. That's 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10. Stephanie, I know this interview today is going to be really in your wheelhouse because they're talking about social media in general, and your phone and everything, what your kids see. We've talked about that. So I'm excited to have the guys from Radiant Mobile on with us today. Sorry, I can't do both at the same time, so got them both on. Paul and Chris, great to have you guys here with us. We're excited to talk about Radiant Mobile and everything that is involved with that. Good morning, gentlemen.
Rob and Stephanie, thank you so much for having us. And I enjoyed that intro so much. I by the way, watermelon and feta cheese stuff, that does work.
It's a thing, right?
It is a thing,
It's a
especially
thing.
for Greek people. It is a thing.
Especially for Greek people.
I mean, I'm half Greek, so that might be why. So, gentlemen, I'm so excited to have you both on today. I know, Paul, for you really were in the kind of the fashion industry. I remember watching you on TV, watching your show about creating a supermodel, and now you're here with like Radiant Mobile. What a transition. Could you talk a little bit about that transition? And I always find it interesting going from one career kind of to another, that transfer of skill set. I'm sure that there were valuable things you learned in one season of your life that apply now.
Yes, ma'am. You know, I spent 35 years representing some of the most famous supermodels in the world. The Naomi Campbells and Stephanie Seymour, Monica Bellucci, and the Hilton family, the Getty family. I could name hundreds of stars that I represented, but it kind of, you know, I'm a man of faith, and it kind of wore on me, to be quite honest with you. I would be sitting there backstage at a Victoria's Secret show or a Versace show or a Prada show, and I would watch young women, 16, 17, 18 years old, taking on their clothes, taking off their clothes, and men running around, women running around. I would watch some of the greatest supermodels in the world that I would create and be a part of their process, you know, $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day, and they were never happy.
Wow.
They would look in the mirror and see things that I could never see. And it started, it was painful for me, to be quite honest with you. And I reached the highest level of my career, at the highest level. And then, then I had a baby girl.
That'll change things.
Yeah. And I started to look at her when she woke up in the morning. And God started talking to me. And I looked at my wife one day and I said, I can't do this anymore. I stopped doing my TV show. I closed down my management firm. My wife looked at me, thought I was crazy. How are we going to pay for the mortgage? How are we going to pay for the kids' college educations one day? I have a 2-year-old, I have a 5-year-old now. I said, I don't know, but God will pave the way for us, sweetheart. And I just wanted them to grow up in a different world. I didn't want to be a part of the problem anymore. I want to be a part of the solution. And thus, Radiant Mobile.
Wow. Rob, I don't want to step on you, but I'm excited about this interview. I have so many questions. If you want to jump in, I could keep going. It's up to you.
No, I love what you said, that you woke up and you said you wanted to change. And how quickly did you transition from what you were doing to what you're doing now? How quick once you woke up and said, hey, listen, I want to change what's the way I do things. How long did that take?
Well, it had been going on for a while. I mean, in my consciousness and my thought process, a podcast had just come out. The Vanity Fair and the New York Times got together and did a deep dive into my life called Model Wars on iHeart. Became a big, huge podcast. My show was a big, huge hit, but probably not as big as my ego. And then then Palea came along, my daughter. So it was a gradual over time. I kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it. I knew I was doing something wrong with my life. And then just in a day, I literally said, no, I'm closing it all down. Called all my supermodels, called all my clients, called my agent at WME. And I said, no, I can't do this anymore. You guys, I'm so sorry. He said, the show's a big hit. They want you back. What are you talking about? I'm like, we're on season 4. And I'm like, yeah, I got something to do. And for 6 months, by the way, I couldn't raise a penny. Doors were shut in my face. The big, huge carriers laughed at me. Block inappropriate content at the carrier level. What are you talking about, man? Like, are you kidding me? And then I met Chris, thank God. And then I just kept going, kept pushing like a pit bull. And thank God for God, the grace of God. And we're here now talking to people like you, which is very humbling.
Chris, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and then also how the two of you met and got Radiant off the ground?
Absolutely. A privilege to be with you. And father of 6. We live in Orlando. My wife's a pediatrician. My family and my kids are the world to me. And I've been in the ministry 25 years, as we were discussing prior to jumping on here with you guys. All sizes and shapes of church: house church, mega church, revival church, international church. I've been around the world multiple times. And I say that to say I love the church of the Lord Jesus. I love the body of Christ. I believe each expression is wonderful and beautiful, but it did give me a really strong depiction of different, scopes and spheres of the church. And so my meeting of Paul and where we really connected, mine was less external as his was, the external kind of conditions. Mine was an internal conversation, and it really revolved around safety in general, especially in the Western church. And when I say safety, of course, physical safety, but emotional safety, spiritual safety, digital safety. And I never heard any conversation along these lines. Kenny still can't remember the last time I heard somebody really talking about safety being a core value. It was kind of boring and something you just didn't hear. But internally, this quest to help not only the worship community, that's what I come from, worship leaders, and I've been on teams for years and years, seeing this dramatic imbalance with really wanting to have a safe place for people. And so that internal dialogue, after about 4 or 5 years, gave me some really strong core values. One was safety, the other one was vulnerability, and the last one was connection. And I began to disciple our teams with those concepts. And then I met Paul. And in meeting Paul, I realized the scope of what God had been putting inside of me to verbalize this journey was actually going to be realized in this mobile plan and protecting families at the core of what we do. And the statistics inside and outside of the church are alarming with regards to inappropriate content. And as Paul mentioned, and can say it much better than anyone I've ever met, we wanted to do something about it, not just sit on our hands, not just wait for something worse to happen, and not let the next generation of young believers and families be targeted anymore. And that's where Radiant Mobile started.
So for those who don't know what Radiant Mobile is and why it's different from other carriers, could you explain?
I would love to. It's the first and only Christian mobile plan in America that blocks inappropriate content at the network level before it ever hits your phone. And with a lot of these things that have come out, they're horizontal, meaning they can be deleted, they can be circumvented. Kids are super, super smart these days, and there's a way to get around it. And so we just decided as a company, and really what sets us apart from anyone else in the market right now is we're cutting it out. It doesn't align with our faith. We don't want it. We don't want it being in our conscience, but we also want to have a practical solution for that spiritual problem of lust for every person that has to deal with a cell phone in their family.
Wow. I mean, as a mom of 3, I know that's only half of the kid load that you have. I love this idea. I love it. I'm obsessed with the safety portion. Obviously, our kids at some point or another almost need a phone. They go away to college, or I've got athletic kids that are traveling, in sports. And so not having a phone is not really an option. So what we've done is just lock it down to the best of our ability and then explain to our kids, this is why, so that they don't have as much of a desire for the forbidden. But what you've done is take it to a whole different level. And it sounds like also really kind of create a community of believers where there are other parents out there that agree. And there's so much power in that. I love what you're doing. I'm so excited about it.
If I may, thank you for that, Steph. Not only do we have filtering features that are at the highest level. I mean, we have, we partnered up with a NASDAQ traded company out of Israel. They've been around for 30 years, 30 million subscribers, but they were mostly focused on like financial filter, the hacking and the phishing, et cetera, to keep people safe that way. We kind of focus them in a different direction about content. But what also comes along with this company out of Israel is parental control features at the highest level, meaning we have geofencing, geolocation. You know where that child is. They step outside that school in 5 seconds. You know where that child is. We have block time and quiet time. And what does that mean? Shut off the internet in 5 seconds. Shut down social media in 2 seconds. Shut it back on. You want them to concentrate on their homework between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Set it up that way. So they cannot get to that internet between 3 and 4, or maybe they just can't get to social media between 3 and 4, so they can get to the internet, so they can go onto sites that they need for educational purposes.
Right.
And then, like God, I hope you guys ask us about this. I'm sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but
go for it.
Chris, we have to figure out a way to, what do you do when the void that you create? So if you get rid of the inappropriate content, you get rid of the garbage, what do you fill up that void with? And Chris says this so much more eloquently than I do. We fill it up, which Chris is in charge of, the most inspirational, educational, powerful, Christian, organic, exclusive content. Interviews with scholars, theologians, pastors at the highest level. And by the way, not daily, but hourly. It's a streaming platform. We educate people with song and entertainment. We tell stories of John the Baptist, Francis of Assisi, St. Patrick, St. Sebastian, Mary of Bethany, powerful stories that we tell. And then we actually have the rights to all the, these great iconic characters, Cinderella, Snow White, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell. And then for the kids, we tell stories, and those characters narrate the great Bible stories. And then what we do is we gamify the whole darn thing. So and then we have great musicals. We have great A-list artists. We create our own music. So we have, great musicals being done by amazing artists telling these stories. So we want to bring people closer to Christ, and we want to do that through entertainment and song. And so, people are really kind of excited and they're freaked out. They write about us all over the world, which is so humbling, about our technology. Super cool. Our technology is sick. It's on another level. It's on another level. I'm really proud of our content because I'm a content guy. And so, but being on TV, being in the entertainment industry, I like content. I'm like, how do you tell stories in a really profound, powerful way? Yeah. And the stories that Chris is telling, and by the way, in English and in Spanish. For our Latin brothers and sisters, our Spanish musicals, our Spanish content that we were just looking at just a few minutes ago, on another level. So those stories that we're telling, and what's our goal? To create a safe place for the Christian community online, and to spread the word of Jesus Christ to every single corner of the world through a mobile plan brought to you on the airways of the number one, blessed to be with them, number one carrier in the country, we feel, T-Mobile.
Awesome.
So I love what you said, because you're taking away something, but then you're putting back in place something that's uplifting, something that creates, and it's not just for kids. That the content you're doing, some of the content is, I mean, I love what you guys are doing as far as some of the programming and the stuff that you have on there. And I think that's important, because people go, well, if you take everything away, what am I using my phone for? And so you have to have, because they're finding out now that over 60% of people use their phone for entertainment as much as they do for phone calls and email and stuff like that. And so I love what you're doing, because you're sowing into young lives.
Yeah, and we're coming out with new stuff all the time. We just came up with a new thing where top 10 new artists of the week. And we're really trying to get into the youth, into the teens, and really kind of understand that algorithm and understand what can we do to really excite them and keep them educated and get rid of the garbage that they're watching. And Chris will tell you much better than I could, Chrissy, which is, we're showing our kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and Chris has an army, really proud, beautiful army. But we're showing our kids, who are our test market, our content, and it's blowing their minds. I mean, we're teaching them stories that are so important for them to learn in such an educational, profound way, versus what they could see by just looking at YouTube, for God's sakes. And I don't know, but it's really profound, that content part of it. I can't stress that enough. People, once again, they keep talking about our tech, Rob and stuff, but our content, it's another level. It is cool. It is inspiring. It is fun. It is really, I watch it every day, like watching what Chris does, and it's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, oh my God, cool stuff.
So I want to ask, because sorry, I want to get this in, because this is important, and you just kind of went over it at the end there. But T-Mobile is your partner, so if somebody's interested in this service, they're getting really great coverage. It's not like they're going to have to go stand out on their roof of their garage to get a signal.
Yeah, the best service, the best possible service, in our humble opinion, in the country. So yeah, we are on the T-Mobile network. We're so proud and so blessed to be a part of that family, to actually say that we're on their network. It's very, very humbling. So it's 5G. People go to radiomobile.com, and we're unlimited talk and text, free calling to Mexico and Canada. It's a great service. And by the way, everything that Chris and I are about to talk to you guys about and have been talking to you about, there's no fee, no cost. Meaning everything's bundled into the plan, $39.99. You don't pay extra for our cybersecurity, or pay extra for our parental control, or pay extra for our streaming platform, or discounts, or sweepstakes, or content. Nothing like that. We're just bundled into your plan right there. It's not an app. It's not, it's actually kind of an app built into the T-Mobile service. So it's not like something you have to re-download and read this and read that. Kids can't get around it. We're built into the system, into this T-Mobile system, which is pretty exciting. And once again, everything comes along with your mobile plan. We are a streaming platform inside of a mobile plan, and brought to you by a very, very powerful partner in T-Mobile.
I have a more of a practical question for some of the parents that maybe are not as tech savvy. I know you mentioned that it's customizable. Could you speak to the parent out there who's like, I wouldn't even know how to begin to set it up and regulate and all of that? How does that work?
Yeah, let me touch on it for 2 seconds, Chrissy, and then I'm sorry for hugging it, but then jump back into you. It's so stupid simple.
Okay.
I mean, I'm telling you, so stupid simple. We have 9 hard blocks. Don't join Radiant Mobile if you want to look at, excuse my language, Stephanie. Don't go with Radiant Mobile if you want to look at pornography. Don't even think about it. We're the wrong group for you. Hate speech, hard blocked. Anti-Semitism, hard blocked. Adult content, hard blocked. Cyberbullying, hard blocked. You cannot turn it on. Forget about it. Don't come with us.
So they could watch YouTube or get on social media if the parents approve that, but that content would be blocked within the app.
Yes and no. Yes and no. You're gonna have to make a hard choice. You want YouTube or you don't want YouTube or the social media, but we can't go into their system. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can turn it on. But you not yet. But you can turn it on and turn it off. You can say, listen, Tuesday you got social media, Wednesday you don't.
Okay.
But we block browsers and all kinds of horrific content, and you can't get to that content. But here's the other thing: 9 hard blocks blocked. Can't do anything about it. 120 where we believe, Chris and I believe, no government, no telecommunications company, no media company has the right to tell us what kind of content we should watch or what our children should watch. So we have 120 categories that we say, guess who has that right? The subscriber, the parent.
That's right.
So you have the right. If you want to turn off, I don't know, gambling or fantasy football, you have every single right to do that. At the same time, you want to turn off LGBT, you want to turn off trans content, turn it off. And they get upset with us every day. Like, who are you to give the tools to the Christian community that can turn off our content? Wait a minute. We've actually created tools to help you folks out. We love you folks. You're part of you're part of God's creation. Whatever you guys want to do, that's what you guys want to do. We block hate speech. You should be thanking us, for God's sakes.
Right.
At the same time, we think the Christian community or any community, if they want to block you, we're just going to give them the tools to do so. So we're not blocking you. We're just equipping the Christian community with tools to be able to do just that. If you want to see a dude in a dress teach your kid about gender identity, you have every right to do that. And at the same time, you have every right to say no to that too.
That's right.
All we're saying is free market society. We're just giving the tools to custom and how easy it is, Steph. You click on, you click off. It's
Awesome.
Anybody can do it. Real simple, man. Real simple.
Okay.
Hey, I love this. Hey guys, give everybody how they can get in touch with Radiant Mobile.
Radiantmobile.com is the easiest way. We've got people from all over the world. Paul referenced it indirectly. Before even having a PR firm, we had 100 articles written about us across 25 countries, and all kinds of things like USA Today, MIT, fascinated with what we're doing. And so I said that because there's an info there. If you just want to reach out and there's a question you may have, I respond to a lot of those. They don't just go into a pile. We want to serve every person that's interested in what we're doing. But the other thing I would say is, the parental choice question that was raised in our service. It's the first time in the cellular carrier space it's ever been mentioned. If your kid is in a library or in a school, there's government mandated rules that protect them against exposure to indecent content. But once they leave that, there is a gap that no other cell phone company has challenged in that space. We want to fill that gap. And then the other thing that, while you guys were talking about content, I'm a girl dad. I have 3 and 3. My sons are interesting. Teenage boys are wild. Athletes are wild. We talked about that for a second and the practicality of having it all in one easy place to manage. That was my challenge with some of this, and the competitive nature of this market was everything was all over the place, and I had to go across 4 or 5 different apps to be able to figure out where my kid is. I'm tech savvy, but I'm not going to be on TikTok trying to figure out where your location is, son. That's not probably going to happen. And then the other part is they needed a phone. I mean, I've got my oldest daughter plays Division I volleyball at the University of Florida. We're so proud of her. All my sons play sports, and we needed them because they've got it. The phone was needed, not because I want to give a cell phone to a 9-year-old, but because I don't have enough help. It's me and my wife, and trying to cover, half of our family across Orlando needed something practical. And the last thing I would say, as a girl dad, and I've sat through Max and Ruby, if you're an older parent, I've sat through Bluey, I've sat through a lot of them. And the kid being fascinated with it and sitting it, you start to watch the content and you start to dream about the day that you'll be able to bring something really relevant.
Yeah.
Those iconic characters do that for us. I could show you a little line that starts at my door about the Jesus movies that are going to come out and which ones have come out. And because of those iconic characters, we can captivate an audience in a way that's not too many other ways I've ever seen it done. And I've watched my own kids and my own family really want to engage more with stories that we get to share. And there's so many wonderful stories to share with our kids, to educate them. And as Paul said, we are, if we're talking about the same stuff that we're doing today in 6 months, we haven't done our job. We want to find out how to cater and serve our market in the best possible way. We want our kids to really grow in their relationship with Christ as we inspire them.
Yeah. And Apple, by the way, the Apple Store and Google, they can download our app right now. We went live a week ago. So they can go to our website, or they can go to the Apple Store and go to Radiant Mobile and kick the tires, change your life.
That's it. Hey, guys, I appreciate you being with us this morning on the show. Chris and Paul, Radiant Mobile. Thanks, guys, for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
God bless you guys. God bless. Thank you for having us.
Oh, got rid of him. Hey, Stephanie, we are out of time. In fact, we're overtime. And so we got to run. But hey, appreciate you so much. Thanks for being with me today on the show.
Oh, it was an honor to be here. Thank you, Rob.
Hey, we have got to run, but we'll see you